plan. First we grab some old gloves and shoes, attack my superhero origin story. You know, obviously your everyday peasant can't stick to this wall, but with flex gloves and flex shoes, we're about to find out. I'm like Captain America learning to use his shield. It is that level of epicness right now. BTW, I'm going to end this video when I stick on the wall for 30 seconds. Flex shoes, please help me stick to this wall. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Oh. No. Oh no. No. Oh, my shoes stayed on. So it turns out, sticking to a wall with 4 pieces of tape is pretty hard. But I wasn't giving up just yet. So it was back to the drawing board to make Super Suit V2. Take 2. I've replaced the flex tape with more flex tape. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! No! Did you see that re-grip too?
Stavio si prvo preko to da je on se lakše.
Pa da.
When I thought of this video idea, I pictured myself like scaling the side of my house and getting onto the roof with flex tape. If you are going to, become a flex tape superhero, take the elevator. Evidently, Super Suit V2 also wasn't quite there yet. But we were getting closer. So it was back to the drawing board one final time to make Super Suit V3. Take 12,000. I'm kidding. If this doesn't work, nothing will. So, well, unless I want a whole suit. 3, 2, 1. Dude, I'm sticking so well.
Stuvo sam
Go,
des.
you legend! Go! Go! Dude, victory! Victory is mine! Holy crap. I'm Flex Man. I'm Flex Man. It was at this point that I was going to end the video, and then I thought to myself, you know what? Why don't I just try hanging upside down? Oh! Don't know what I'm thinking. Final verdict, can flex tape make you stick to walls like Spider-Man? Yeah! Can it make you stick to ceilings like Spider-Man? Hell no! Thank you very much for watching. I will see you.
Superpowers are just in the movies and comics, right? While most of us mere mortals don't have super strength, green skin, or lightning bolt eyes, there are some gifted humans hiding amongst us, blessed with some strange and sometimes paranormal abilities. These magical mutants can mystify us with their unique talents. Is it genetic evolution or exposure to radioactive waste? Whatever it is, the X-Men are here. Ready to meet the superhumans that live among us? Let's get it on. SquareTideway. Given enough time, there was bound to be someone close to the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown who exhibited a phenomenal ability. Meet Etibar Elchiev from Georgia. His day job is training aspiring kickboxers, but in his spare time, he practices breaking his own world record. This man has the unique ability to attract metal to his body, having nothing to do with his not-so-magnetic personality either. Dubbed the Human Magnet, he's able to hold 53 spoons onto his chest and back. Becoming the world record holder was his initial dream, but now he has his sights set on something bigger. He's pulled a Mercedes along the road with a metal plate on his back. Who knows? In a few decades' time, with some intensive training, we might see this guy twisting and manipulating metal at will. Wim Hof. Many people have claimed to be able to control their body temperature over the course of history, but few have put it to the test to the degree that Wim Hof has. The Iceman has climbed Mount Everest and Mount Kilimanjaro barefoot, with just a pair of shorts to be able to record it all. In fact, he holds over 10 world records for surviving in conditions that would prove fatally cold for other mere mortals. Using Tibetan time-style meditation, Hof is able to shut off activity in his mind and redirect his energy into keeping his body heat constant. This ability also works with extreme heat, as incredibly, he ran a full marathon in the Namib desert without food, water, or change in his core temperature. Proof that power of the mind and body is far beyond scientific understanding. Kevin Richardson. Dr. Dolittle could talk with the animals. Tarzan was raised in the jungle by apes. Is it too far-fetched to believe that someone like this can exist in the modern era? South African Kevin Richardson is proof that some people possess a natural affinity for understanding and communicating with animals. Move over, Crazy Joe Exotic. This guy is the true Tiger King, and he's against raising cubs in captivity just for tourists to pat. Richardson is the real-life lion whisperer, and has been accepted by a wild pride of lions in the Dino Ken Game Reserve in Pretoria. He rolls around on the ground wrestling with his lion buddies and joins them for a good roaring session on all fours. He has a wife and family, but once he sets foot on the savannah grass, he becomes one of the fry. Shaggy! Dean Carnazes. Imagine if you could just run forever. One man can, Dean Carnazes. He's run 50 marathons in 50 days and completed a trek of 350 miles in 80 hours and 44 minutes without needing to stop for sleep or rest. He even ran a marathon in the South Pole at temperatures of minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit. For those who don't know, lactic acid is responsible for muscle soreness, tightness, and the feeling of legs as heavy as lead after a long session of training. It's produced as a byproduct of converting blood sugar into energy, cramps, and fatigue. Indicating the brain that it's time to stop, but Carnazes never received these signals, giving him the ability to run almost indefinitely through his body, especially where due to rapidly taking lactic acid out of his muscles. Jamie Keaton. Jamie Canhead Keaton is known as the human suction cup. For some bizarre reason, an undiagnosable skin condition turns his swords into something more closely resembling the properties of the suckers on an octopus's leg. He can stick cans, bottles, and even random objects like smartphones and house keys to his head and body. After shaving his head on a hot summer's day, he stumbled upon this weird superpower by accident. After rubbing a soda can on his head to try and cool down from the midday sun, he's made a full-time career out of entertaining people, with beverage companies paying him to pour drinks out of bottles stuck to his head. Celebrities stop to take happy snaps with him all the time, and at one NASCAR event, he posed in an astonishing 80,000 photos with fans.
Here's both hands if you have to.
Troy James. Troy James is not your average contestant. There are few people on earth more terrifying than this man, rising up from the inanimate pile of crumbled up limbs only to run and leap towards you like something straight out of your worst nightmare. James is double-jointed and extremely flexible. It records a frisbee body into unnatural positions. It's more terrifying than his whole demeanor and behavior undergoes a monstrous transformation. He's one of the kind of monsters that serves him well in various roles in sci-fi, horror, TV series, and films. He's also performed on Australia's Got Talent, discussing one of the judges. His human spider routine caused the judge to let out a blood-curdling scream as James crawled up over his body. It's safe to say he wouldn't have had much sleep that night. Jerry Mitchell. In the Wild West, it was the quick and the dead. Draw fast. Aim true, and you might just survive long enough to see the sunrise another day. Jerry Mitchell is a throwback to a bygone era. He's a professional sharpshooter closely resembling Deadshot, who's won numerous national titles and shattered multiple world records. He can fan the hammer at a speed faster than the human eye. His skill with a revolver is arguably unmatched by anyone who has ever lived. It takes a little over half a second for him to hit a target with 5 shots, 1 second with 8 shots, 3 seconds with 6 shots, a reload, and another 6 shots. The footage looks almost like it's been faked or doctored. It gives a new meaning to the phrase, the hand is faster than the eye. Eskil Roningsbakken. High wire acts aren't used. Performers have been showcasing their control and balance for centuries. What Eskil Roningsbakken is able to do is a whole different ballgame. It goes beyond what we've seen in the circus big top. The Norwegian has perhaps the best sense of balance in the world, but sees his demonstrations as art and not just mere stunts. Some of his notable feats have to be seen to be believed, like balancing on a single ice cube measuring 2 square feet, supported on each end, rope suspended 1,000 feet above a glacier, or riding a bicycle upside down on his head using his hands to pedal across a tightrope between 2 cliffs. Although he doesn't possess fear, he does have a natural sense of self-preservation, an important trait when you live life on the edge. OMG. Sometimes it's a case of mind over matter. For Owen Lee, a lifetime of training in the martial art has gone, aligned his body, breath, and mind, and has given him a crazily powerful and resilient finger. This guy's able to punch his finger clean through a green coconut and pour the juice straight into your pina colada. Lee has a permanent spot on the streets of Malaysia where he performs for tourists, joking that his finger provides a living for his family. He's continuously broken his own Guinness World Record and can currently pierce 4 coconuts in a shade over 12 seconds. Just imagine what this gnarled finger could do to a human skull. He could pop it like a water balloon. That's to stay on his good side. Steve Severinsen. Human being or aquatic sea mammal? You be the judge. Steve Severinsen has more than earned his nickname as the man who doesn't breathe by using a state of zen to control his breathing underwater. He's able to spend 22 minutes submerged stationary in water. To put this into perspective, a regular person can only hold their breath for between 30 seconds and 2 minutes before beginning to take in water and eventually drowning. He holds the record for the world's longest underwater swim, traveling an astounding 500 feet under a frozen lake without breathing apparatus, wearing flippers and a wetsuit. He took things up a notch the following day by swimming 250 feet in just his trunks. Scientists have studied Severinsen, remarking that he has almost triple the lung capacity of a person. He say his mother was a dolphin. And squeeze. On just one breath, 150 feet.
Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your...
Superpowers are just in the movies and comics.
Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. What if I told you that a lot of the superpowers comic book superheroes parents before them? That girl has an origin story, and this is the story of 10 children you dream of. Of course, these special abilities will seem trivial compared to the overly dramatic superpowers you see in comic books. But, under the right circumstances, and with a better understanding of their exceptional capabilities, these real-life superpowers have the potential to manifest in a greater way than you can imagine. So what better opportunity to learn how to control a superpower than when it appears in childhood? Sure, not all superpowers will manifest in the superhero's childhood, but every superhero has an origin story, and this is the story of 10 children with real superpowers. Number 3 is out of this world. Number 10. Nam Yo-Hu. Night vision. This young boy from a remote village in China was born with sky blue eyes, like those of a Siamese cat. His parents had black-colored eyes, as did their parents before them. As such, everyone was amazed to see that their son, Nam Yo-Hu, had brilliant blue eyes. What's remarkable is that the boy's eyes turn a reflective neon green when the light is flashed on them. You often see this characteristic in cats and other nocturnal animals, but Nam-Yo, like cats, is able to see in the dark. In nocturnal animals, cat's night vision is made possible by a layer of specialized cells at the back of the eye, which act as electroreflectors. Basically, this means that any light that goes through the eye is reflected back through the retina, thereby presenting additional light for illuminating things in the dark. While Nam-Yo lacks these specialized cells, he gains abilities, very small parts of the light. This was proven in a test in which the boy had to fill out a questionnaire while sitting in a dark room. Number 9. Brock Brown, Incredible Hulk. This kid from Michigan was 5 foot 3 inches when he was still a kindergarten. At the age of 19, the boy measured a amazing 7 feet 8 inches. But most likely, Brock Brown never did stop growing. His growth rate was measured at 6 inches per year. He had a school in which he could measure. If you have heard of Dr. Bruce Banner, you immediately think of the Hulk. You see how remarkably tall and heavily built Brock Brown is. But when you stop to look at him, it is fine. Evidence Bruce Banner's ultimate built Hulk. Unfortunately, unlike Dr. Banner, his skin is actually formed designed to a regular size human. He's always going to order size human experience. He's always going to be the tallest person on earth wherever he goes. Number 8. Nikolai Magneto. Nikolai was just a regular kid in Russia, and there was nothing you could say was special about the boy. But everything changed when the 12-year-old was knocked out by a massive electric shock from a faulty wire dangling from the network he had been leaning on. The jolt of the electricity from the shock almost killed him, but the boy survived. And later, it seemed almost as a relief when he realized the accident had given him some sort of superpowers. Metallic objects would stick to his skin as if he was Michael Fassbender, X-Men's Magneto. The boy, who was a keen fan of comics, wanted to be a policeman, but changed his career goal to a superhero, gained a few games from superpowers. What an interesting story, but some scientists didn't buy it. As far as they know, the boy simply had unusually sticky skin. This boy can hold a frying pan up with no other contact but his chest. That boy really sticky skin. Number 7. Youngra, Electro. You'll see this boy from India touch a live wire with his tongue and think he must have a death wish. But the reality is that Deepak Jungra is able to withstand up to 11,000 volts. This is the amount of electricity only accessible through a high voltage overhead transmission line. So, if a 110 volt or 240 volt shock can cause internal burning or fibrillation, how much damage can be done by a supply that's 100 times that of your normal household voltage? But this kid doesn't seem to get shocked or any form of damage from electricity. The first time he released that, he was able to withstand a lot of electric power flowing through his body. He was excited and wanted to know how much electricity he could take. He would fill a bucket with water, toss in a live wire from a 440 volt supply, then he put his hand in the water, but nothing would happen to him. Everyone in the village was obviously amazed by his superpower, and even started calling him Electro. But no one anticipated that the boy would actually climb up an electric pole to touch a high voltage 11 volt wire, just to see how much his body could take. Well, now there's no doubting that he's a real even electricity insulator. Number 6. Yang Jinlong. An amazing footage of a 7-year-old boy from a countryside province in China went viral when it showed the pint-sized boy pulling a 2-ton vehicle.
Can anybody hear me?
The boy weighed only 110 pounds, and he was growing remarkably fast. He challenged himself to some hard and demanding feats to see how strong he would get. The kid was obviously gifted, and he used his superpowers to do more than just controlling vehicles. You need your heavy wheat or some red sacks loaded onto a truck? Yang Jinlong will sling those 220-pound sacks on his back and have them loaded wherever you need them. Well, of course, you cannot employ him just yet since he's still a kid, but the fact that he could take carrying 220-pound bags without breaking a sweat is impressive. Yang's most incredible feat of strength has to be the moment when he's seen carrying his 398-pound father around their home. He bet he beat all his friends at tug-of-war. Number 5. Nandana Krishna, mind reader. Medical experts from around the world were amazed by this little girl who was reported to have telepathic abilities. Nandana was just 7 years old when her extraordinary ability first appeared. When word got out that the girl could access her mother's thoughts without touching her or using other social media, the story caught the attention of thousands of people around the world. Now appears to be just as baffled by everyone else, and really curious to see if they wanted to use the minds of other people, especially their mothers. But it turned out that she had this special connection only to her mother. As expected, Nandana's extraordinary superpowers were put to the test. The girl's mother was given several items to read silently in her mind. Among them was a cell phone number, a random sentence, and a grade 2 level poem which Nandana had never come across before. The girl passed all the tests and proved to the world that she was extraordinary strength and evidently was just a toddler. At only 5 months old, the boy was doing an iron toss, would leap up the stairs and walk down unsupported. 1-year-old Leo was playing with 5-pound dumbbells, running across the house with his skateboard. And he dominated the tennis bar as well. The boy's story is quite an interesting one. The kind of twist he found his special creators used to introduce new superhero characters. As a toddler, Leo's mother gave him up for adoption, and she thought her kid had some kind of birth defect. He was soon adopted, and the adopted parents had a medical checkup done, because they thought the boy was too strong for a toddler. The report revealed that Leo was born with a rare mild spotting condition known as muscle hypertrophy. This means that their baby boy would develop more muscle mass and have little to no body fat. Basically, this means that the boy would always be muscular, without having to do much to keep it up. Number 3. Junior is boy. The kid is not from Earth. That's right, Boris, also nicknamed Lishka. has puzzled experts and thousands of people like you by claiming that he was a Martian before he was born to his Earth-dwelling human parents. The boy's knowledge of the superpowers was impressive, and he seemed to understand a lot of things about the galaxy. He was for a boy who was only 3 years of age. Boy Stuck claimed that he acquired all that knowledge from his past life on Mars, and that he remembers a great deal of it. He often talked about his life before he was born on Earth. He would especially talk of how life on Mars was before an all-out war broke out. He claimed that the war destroyed Martian civilization, and everyone on the planet had to seek shelter underground. Not sure if that's a superpower, but the fact that he could remember his past life as an alien, who knows what other abilities he could unlock in the future. He could be a real-life Superman for all you know. Now it's time for today's best hit. We have a picture sent to us by a subscriber, just like you. It shows an adorable little girl who seems to be showing off flames of fire coming off of her bare hands. Number 2. Emma Tablet. Fire started. This girl isn't on fire, but she can set things on fire with the power of her mind. She's a 3-year-old girl who has 6,000 in the Philippines. She was living what you say is a normal childhood until people started associating her with its part wherever she moved. And it was not safe to go to the community.
Facciamo 3D.
C'è preso. Ti posso iniziare.
It was near the year of the time that the girl's abilities
Lost in the chat.
fire while the mayor was still in the house. And not long afterwards, a shirt hanging in the house caught fire. All the girl had to do to start the fire was to utter the word Puño, Filipino for fire. Something would burn. Kind of like what Mary Targaryen would command her dragon. Only with
Ja, nie masz mnie najpuśka na Minecraft.
Jesi dosta canje.
Gdje? Može da.
Bubu, ne može on. Ne može.
A gdje sam?
Kako vidi, ali došlo novi
9
update.
sati. Hoće mi